Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something a little special. I call it special, but it's something I haven't done, and it's going to be a crab and shrimp boil. Now, I'll show you pictures here of the crabs that we cleaned. We steamed them, didn't steam them entirely the full time that they should have because I knew I was going to do a boil later. I got 200 crabs, probably about 4 bags of shrimp, frozen. And I want to start off with the ingredients is with this Zatarain's Pro Boil. Now this is about 3 pounds, 5 ounces. I'm only going to use half. But I am going to add some of this frog bone. Very spicy. It's good for seafood. It's in my own jar. It came in a box and then I poured it in here. I'm also going to add this liquid Zatarain's shrimp and crab boil. Use the whole bottle. And these are bags of Zatarain crawfish, shrimp, and crab boil, but boil in a bag. I'll be using these 3. And nope, that's for me. I have the small potatoes. They've been washed. And normally you put in onions, celery, or even garlic. So what I've done is I ground them all up, blended them, so that it really gets into the seasoning a lot easier. So with that, let's turn the cooker on and get that water boiling. Okay, so to start this, you turn your valve on here, you turn this way to on, and you have an electric button that you push, and voila, we have power, we have flame. So we're going to let that get hot real quick. By the way, this is a 60 quart Loco cook pot. 60 quarts is 15 gallons. Okay, so we're back. We finally got this thing up to about 215 degrees using my fancy little thermometer. And there's a little hole in the lid. Works great. It's sitting there like that. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to take the lid off. We're going to start putting our powders in. Okay, so we have the Pro Boil. I'm only going to use half, as I mentioned before. And pull this lid off again. Actually smells really good. Okay, that is a little over half. So we'll put this lid on, and if you remember, I mentioned we have frog boil. In it goes. That's some spicy stuff. And if you remember, we have the bags, which are these. I'm going to put 3 in there. 3. Give it a quick stir. Let's take a peek at what it looks like inside. So that's going to come back to a rapid boil. And then we're going to start adding my citrus, which I have lemons, oranges, etc. And we'll take it from there. So one important ingredient is butter. It's the whole stick. You want to get this in there in the beginning. The second one is this liquid crab boil. This is 8 ounces. I'm using the whole bottle. Whew, that smells strong. So it's been about 5 minutes. And if you remember, we talked about the garlic, onion, and the celery. It's pureed. So I'm going to pour that in now. That's going to give it a great flavor. Oh, it's pretty steamy in there. I'm going to add some citrus to it. Now, I heard it that you would add the oranges and the lemons now, but someone else said that you should add it later. When it's doing the cooling down, that's when it's more effective with taste. So I'm just going to do some of this, and the rest I'll put it towards the end. Put my camera down. So with that, I got a little thirsty, so well, it's been boiling for 10 minutes. It's time to put these red potatoes in. Let's go ahead and do that. Got to be careful we don't get splashed. So got to drop them in one at a time. Give it a bit of a stir. We'll let that come back to a boil. And then I'm going to taste the water to see if it needs more salt. Got to have that salt. So it's been boiling for about 10 minutes. I'm going to put in the smoked sausage. This was cooked, cut up and cooked. The reason why it was cooked first is to get rid of that grease. You don't want that grease in here. Splatter, splatter. Those were mushroom buttons. I'm just going to give it a stir. Ooh, the aroma on this is something spicy. Okay, and then we're going to put some cinnamon. No, I'm kidding. Get that lid back on. It's boiling really good, but it needs to be more of a rapid boil. Let's take a look. Okay, we'll check back in about 10 minutes. Okay, that's Nick trying to get out of the camera. Or is he?
I don't know.
Nick, I got to taste the water. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that. Again, what I'm looking for is salt, that salty taste. Now, I'm not going to do this right now. It's got to cool off. Blow. No.
You got this, Phil.
I just don't want to burn my lips off. That's boiling water. Let's try. Ah.
Totally not hot.
That's salty. So that's good. We're right at what we want to be. So I will not be adding salt to that. Okay.
That's how you gotta
Yes.
Okay, so it's been cooking for a while. Look at all these crabs. Each bag has at least 10. We caught this about a month or two back. We steamed and cleaned them and then froze them. And now we're going to put them in that boil to heat them up. So that's what it looks like steamed. These two are kind of frozen together. We're going to go ahead and put those in the pot right now. Okay, so the gang's around here. I'm about ready to put these crabs in here. Let me get this lid off. Let's place them in there. Yeah, it's time. Ooh. Yeah.
That's something we're going to put in the pot.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple bags at a time. Let me give it a quick stir. Nothing up my sleeve. Okay, one more.
So there's no way 200 crabs are going to fit in here.
Sorry about that coughing. Strong odor.
So I got the liquid is just above these crabs. They're going to boil, and I'm going to
I have to pull them out before I put the others in there.
take a peek. Look at all those crabs.
Not a lot of meat in the crab, though.
boil.
So I pulled some of those crabs out. I still have a lot more to get in here. I just put that in there.
Oh,
And it's getting dark.
spend the day, get them all cooked, and then spend the day picking the meat and make some nice crab cakes.
Okay, so this is the end result. I did separate some of it. So your corn, there's some shrimp mixed in there. Here you got the corn and shrimp mixed with the crab. Shrimp and crab. Lots more crab. Now, what I showed you before I cooked, half of it went back to the freezer. It's just too much food. Would you look at that cornbread? All right, guys, we're going to dig in. And hopefully we can eat it all.